Woke up to the tide calling my name. Dreams in the mirror.
Hey guys, welcome back to MTG Bark Breaks. My name is Rowan, and today we're going to be opening up a box of Edge of Eternity play boosters. Contains about 30 packs. Pretty controversial set given the space theme and kind of a bit of, you know, an edge in regards to trying to stay in universe, but it's been proven to actually have some pretty hot hits in here. Between the Ouroboroid, the Quantum Riddler, and the Icetill Explorer, along with all the Shocklands, there has definitely been proven to have some value in here. I personally am looking for an Icetill Explorer, along with some Shocklands specific for my Muldrotha deck, so I am pretty excited to open this pack up. You know, on top of that, I've never actually opened Edge of Eternities before, so this will be pretty fun. So let's get started. So, as usual, this will be my box for personal use. However, again, I am still looking forward to the idea of getting some patrons involved in openings. So definitely like and subscribe. I am actively working on getting a Discord server put together. So that process is, you know, taking place. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you like and subscribe so that way you don't miss any content. And, you know, definitely stay in touch through the Discord server. That's probably going to be the fastest way to learn when a Patreon gets started. It's also going to be the best way for me to gauge when to start a Patreon. I don't want to be doing it with like 2 or 3 people. I want to be doing it with, you know, plenty of people to fill out these breaks. So definitely keep an eye out. I'm hoping to get the Discord up and running within the next week or so. So definitely, you know, keep us informed in terms of if that's something you're interested in. It reminds me of StarCraft quite a bit. You know, that's pretty nifty. I like that. Okay, so let's get this process started. So, with this one being as controversial as it was, you know, I'd love to hear what you guys thought of this set. Definitely, like I said, it's got some favorite cards in here, but, you know, I also know the controversy that's associated with this set, and I know that there's quite a few people that were really not super happy with the theme of it. So, keep me informed how you feel about that. You know, I know that Star Trek is coming up later this year. I know many people are excited about the idea of trying to merge these two worlds between the in-universe and out-of-universe world. I still have mixed feelings. It still feels very fringe for Magic the Gathering. So we will have to see how this goes. But still excited to open these up. We will see what we get here. See if I learned something from my last video in regards to how to open these up a little bit more efficiently. We'll see how this goes. This was actually from the reprints, so we will see how these orders go. I'm not quite sure. Okay, there we go. So, Flight Deck Coordinator, Virus Beetle, Ilvoy Galeblade. I am probably going to butcher some of these more like alien-esque kind of pronunciations. Sky Stinger, Nebula Dragon, Rig of War, Zealous Display, Hemosymbic Might, Full Bore, Sassurian Voidborn, Tractor Beam, and Infinite Guideline Station. So we got a spacecraft. It's a 715 when you can actually crew it. That seems like it's a pretty strong card, but I am not sure how it prices out. My guess is this is probably not got a lot of value. I have a feeling that most of these spacecrafts probably are not going to carry a whole lot of value, at least in the short term. We'll have to see. I'm also curious. I honestly haven't done a whole lot of research. Is there any uncommons or commons that carry some value? It looks like the Weft Stalker Ardent, along with Tanuk Memorial and Sign. at least have a little bit of value with them. But other than that, it doesn't look like there's anything outside of the mythic and rare range for traditional packs. So we will see. I do, honestly, I know that's probably controversial. I actually do really like these full arts. They are pretty cool. Okay. So let's go ahead and see. As with before, I am probably going to try and organize a few things while we do this. Otherwise, it's just going to take me forever later on. But hopefully it won't take too long as we go. Okay, pack 2. So this is definitely going to be an example of shrinkflation. My last video was about an hour long. My guess is this one will be shorter, simply because I will be going a little bit faster than before. You know, don't have to do quite so much explanation, but on top of that, we got only 30 packs on this one. So, you know, 6 shorter than the last break. Squire's Light Blade, Depressurize, Cryo Shatter, Ice Cave Crasher, Pinnacle Kill Ship, Ore Plate Pangolin, Nanoform Sentinel, Seed Ship Argarian, Systems Override, Fell Grave Ship. Ooh, Stomping Ground. There you go. Okay, that's pretty sweet. So I do have my sleeves over here, so I will try and keep track of that. Okay, well, we got a Shockland within the first 2 packs. I'd say that's a pretty solid start. Love that. We also have a Starwinder. Leviathan, 7/7. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw that many cards. That sounds strong. That's an example of some power creep right there. Okay. Pulsar, Squadron Ace, Planes, and Lander. Okay, interesting. We'll see how this goes. I do really like the reprints. I'm pretty sure that the Markov Manor box that I opened was also a reprint box. And man, these cards are so much smoother than the originals, than the ones made in the US. I really wish they would figure out their manufacturing process in the US. The ones that are in the US just feel so gritty. Man, it feels like they were just literally built on a beach. Like, it's crazy. And these ones are just like butter smooth in comparison. So hopefully they figure that out at some point, because really, it's like, you might as well just wait for the reprints. Not only is it probably going to be more affordable, but the feel of these cards is so much better, especially for play packs. Night Luminary, Beamsaw Prospector, Ilvoy Light Jammer, Germinating Worm, Kavarin Turbo Drone, Shattered Wings, Thaumaton Torpedo, Specimen Freighter, Pulsar Squadron Ace, Pull Through the Weft, Remnant Elemental, and Thrumming Pool. I am excited about this card, but at the same time, I know that the price has like literally bottomed out. So, can't be too excited about it, but at the same time, it's a cool card. I do like, you know, some good, I am into some good slivers. I do have an old Sliver Queen and quite a few of the other slivers that are out there, so I do think that's on my bucket list of things to put together. But I do wish it carried a little bit more value. I think it would have been interesting if they had actually had more slivers. It was so weird that they made Thrumming Hivepool as like a sliver card with no other slivers in the whole set. It definitely threw people when it was spoiled. So I do find that interesting that they decided to go that route. Speaking of, got a sliver right off the bat here. That's always fun. Okay. Exosuit Savior, Dark Endurance, Self-Craft Mechan, Nutrient Block, Orbital Plunge, Sammy's Curiosity, Thawbringer, Code Cracker Hound, All Fate Stalker, Interceptor Mechan, Lash Whip Predator, and a entropic battlecruiser. That's some pretty sweet art, I will say. That's some pretty cool art. I doubt this has a whole lot of value, but you know, I have to say, like, they definitely made this feel pretty StarCrafty, which is kind of cool. You know, I don't know if there's anyone else out there that's old school like me that was pretty into StarCraft, but that, you know, I was into that way more than I was Warcraft personally. So I do like the thematics of that. Kind of wish that there was a little bit more of a darker tone for some of it, though, because I feel like that would have probably taken this to another level, this set. I don't think Tezzeret was quite dark enough for me. Okay. Starfighter Pilot. Insatiable Skittermaw. Mechanzoa. Kav Landseeker. Now, as someone who's pretty old school, I was there for the original Kavus. And it is interesting to see them back all of a sudden on the fringes of, like, the multiverse, but, like, why? They were never a good unit, and I don't think they still are. Like, they didn't really create any level of tribal quality there, so I do find it interesting that those came back. That's a little interesting. Mech and Shield Mates, Drix Fate Maker, Melts Rider's Gear, Uthros Scionist, Vault Guard Trooper, Sassurian Dirgecraft. Okay. Shockland number 2. Watery Grave, one of the better ones. Love that. So far, so good. Forgot to mention, I picked up this box for about $120, which I do consider a pretty good deal as boxes go right now. It seems like the market is sitting closer to around $130 to $140 plus tax and shipping, and I got mine at $120 with both, so I'd say I'm pretty content with that. Beyond the Quiet and Cryogen Relic with the Forest and Robot. Let's keep it rolling. So, to kind of take the place of some of these cards that I'm looking for, I did decide to go ahead and use some proxies. And I'd love to know the opinion of the masses on proxies. I'm sure this will be a polarized view. But let's take it this way. You know, Commander, I feel like proxies are fine, right? Keeping in mind that personally, I would prefer the idea of proxies that actually have what the card does on it, not just the back of a card that's got it written in Sharpie, so that way you can, like, say, oh yeah, this is this. It's like, no, I need to know what the card is. I haven't been in the game for forever. I need to know what we're actually playing with. So printed proxies or purchased proxies, I'm a little bit happier with that, but Sharpie proxies, not a big fan. But for the sake of play, I have no problem with it. Vanishing Light, Decode Transmissions, Cloud Sculpts, Technician, Auxiliary Boosters, Frontline War Rager, Intrepid Tenderfoot, Wormwall Sweeper, Uthros Scanship, Tragic Trajectory, Debris Field Crusher, Thespian Stage. So we got one of the... I'm not sure if this is showcase or like some type of special treatment, but we got one of the specialized lands. This land becomes a copy of target land, except has this ability. That's not bad. I like the idea of the fact that you can actually target any land. It can be an opponent's land, so that makes it a lot more viable in Commander. Not sure of its value. It is not foil or anything like that, but you know, I'll sleeve that one up. I'm not sure if that one's going to carry any value, but I still like it. And Sammy, Wildcat Captain. Lux Knight Breacher, Swamp, and Lander. I think the one other thing that I would prefer when it comes to proxies, though, is the idea that you actually own the card. You just aren't wanting to play with it, right? Like, if you have a copy of Gaia's Cradle, I wouldn't hold it against someone for not wanting to throw that in, you know, even a double or triple sleeved pack, you know? Like, no one wants that ruined, right? And I would understand the idea that someone's going to want to play with it, right? But the fact that it is, you know, a nearly, if not definitively, $1,000 card, I can understand why no one wants to play with that, you know? So with that in mind, like, if you have, like, a stack of top loaders with cards that are in your deck that are associated with proxies, and then you just throw the proxies into the deck, I am solid with that. That's how I would prefer to play it. But at the same time, like, I get it. Like, I'm not going to be like, I need to see it to know that you actually have the card or anything like that. Like, maybe if it was competitive. That's where I do feel like competitive could do better. Because, quite frankly, even for competitive play, I don't want to be playing with super expensive cards. I would love to be able to play with a proxy and then be able to move forward with that. So, you know, I think that's how I feel. Hull Carver, Star Breach Whale, Starport Security, Plasma Bolt, Fungal Colossus, Sky Stinger, Chrome Companion. Okay, dog, love that. Okay, now we got space dogs. So, you know, we're gonna set that one up there. That will be the mascot of the stream. I don't know if there's gonna be any more dogs in this set. I can't imagine there's gonna be a whole lot. But cool to see one, and it's a colorless, so that's going to have a lot of utility in any deck you want to use it in. Dual Sun Adept, Eusocial Engineering, Terrapact Intimidator, Atomic Microsizer, and Weft Waking, which is a mythic. When this enchantment enters, if you cast it, shuffle your hand and graveyard into your library, then draw 7. The first spell each player casts during each of their turns may be cast without paying its mana cost. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't love that it affects the full board. If it didn't, that might have a little bit more interest for me. It's quite expensive. Like, you're kind of bordering on an Omniscience at that price. So, you know, not sure how I feel about that. Probably not that great of a mythic. I can't imagine that one's going to carry much value, but we will keep an eye out. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't done a whole lot of research into this set in regards to the value of other cards beyond, like, the top, you know, maybe like 5 or 6 hits plus the ones that I'm actually interested in pulling. So it'll be interesting. Okay. Purgy Beckoner, Cryogen Relic, Bright Spear Zealot, Zookeeper Mechan, Divert Disaster, Gene Pollinator, Temporal Intervention, Seam Rip, Lightless Evangel. Oh man, this one's gonna be tough. God, I feel like an idiot saying that. Uthros Exile. Please let me know if I am pronouncing that wrong. I am sure I am. Siege Ship, Agrarian, and Ragos Deft Gastronaut. That's the lobster, ain't it? Yeah. I am interested to see how that plays. Artifacts you control are foods in addition to their other types. You have pay 2, tap, sacrifice this artifact, and you gain 3 life. So turns all artifacts into actual food tokens, essentially. You can sacrifice a food by paying 1 and tapping Ragost, and it can deal 3 damage to each opponent. So essentially you can turn it into a shock. Not quite a shock. One of those... one of those lightning bolts that are from Foundations, but still cool. At the beginning of each end step, if you gained life this turn, untap it. Okay. That's interesting. I wonder how that plays out in Commander when you're playing on multiple people's turns. I'm sure you could probably make that work. Unravel, Plains, Lander. I do wonder whether or not they've kind of figured out with some of these Japanese reprints the foiling issues and Pringling. I would love to see Pringles go away. That is a huge pain in the butt. Comment in the comments below whether or not you take the effort to try and unpringle your foils. Using the humidifier methods and stuff like that. I haven't tried that yet. I do think it's something I might consider. If that is something that you can do, does it re-pringle after you've humidified it? Or is it like fixed and good to go? I can't imagine that it's going to be a permanent fix. Maybe if you like double or triple seal it with multiple sleeves, but still, I mean, it seems a little bit crazy. Insatiable Skittermaw, Lost in Space, Weftblade Enhancer, Melded Moxite, Lux Knight Breacher, Diplomatic Relations, Drill Too Deep, Scout for Survivors, Monoist Circuit Feeder, Biomechan Engineer, Sunstar Choplin, and Elegy Acolyte with a Sinister Cryologist. Looks like there's landers on pretty much all of these tokens. It just must be double-sided. Double rare pack, not bad. Last pack of stack 1. 20 minutes in. I wonder, I feel like I'm making poor time, but we'll figure that out later. Not worried about it. I'm sure I'll pick up pace. Swarm Color, Elvoy Galeblade, Focus Fire, Bombard, Dockworker Drone, Ice Cave Crasher, Thematon Torpedo, Survey Mechan, Unravel, Sir Vondam the Lucient. Ooh, Robe of Stars. That's cool. Haven't seen many of the special guests, but that is a pretty cool one. Gonna sleeve that one up. I do like the edges. I mean, it does look real worn, but clearly that's by its intent. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Sunset Saboteur, Melt Strider's Resolve, Island Lander. Okay, stack 1 done, which means that we should pretty much be through with 1/3 or 10 packs, approximately. Probably not carrying our weight so far, but hey, what can I say? The Markov box absolutely did not carry its weight in its first third. So, maybe things will turn around. Sure hope so. I like to think that the prices that I actually buy these boxes at when I'm as selective as I am allows me a higher likelihood of actually hitting value. But, none of them are going to be perfect. Gravkill, Sinister Cryologist, Flight Deck Coordinator, Caveron Turbodrone, Embrace Oblivion, Blooming Stinger, Nanoform Sentinel, Starfield Shepherd, Dauntless Scrapbot, Mechan Assembler, Monoist Sentry, Cosmogoyf, heard of that one, that's pretty cool, and then a Caveron Skywarden with a full art Island Lander. I feel like there's probably cards in here that I should be more excited about and are really just ignorant about right now. I'm sure I'll figure it out as time goes on, but I apologize for any lack of excitement for things that I probably should be excited about. From what I can see in the top maybe 12, 15, I don't think we've hit many of those top cards. We did get the Stomping Grounds and the Watery Grave, but that's pretty much it. So we did get at least something, but not much. Graph Pack Monoist, Elvoy Operative, Squire's Lightblade, Virus Beetle, Nebula Dragon, Comet Crawler, Drix Fate Maker, Slag Drill Scraper, Dawn Strike Vanguard, Melt Strider Resolve, Invasive Maneuver, Pinnacle Emissary. Ooh, foil. Okay. Creeping Tar Pit in the foil. Probably not going to carry a whole lot of value, but you're not going to get many foils of this type of card in these play packs. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this in a sleeve. Cross my fingers that was something unique. If only it could have been something more like an Ancient Tomb, that would have been pretty cool. I know that there is some chance for some real strong hitters. I'm just not going to even bother hoping for those right now, just because I know that the likelihood of me hitting these from play packs is not strong. But hey, guy can hope. In the comments below, what is a card that you have been dying to get your hands on, but just can't pull the trigger? Price, you know, utility, whatever it is. What is a card that you've been really just wanting to get, whether it's a pull or a purchase, that you just haven't pulled the trigger on? For me, I mean, of course I want Power 9, but I don't think that will ever happen. But I am really into the reserve list. I do think there's quite a few reserve list cards that I would love to get my hands on. Cryo Shatter, Radiant Strike, Depressurize, Covs, Landseeker, Fungal Colossus, Pinnacle Killship, Command Bridge, Glacier, Godmaw, Weft Stalker Ardent, Timeline Color, Specimen Freighter, Moonlit Meditation. Ooh, the edges on that are a little beat up. And Sunstar Expansionist with a full art mountain and a lander. I do miss the days when the full arts were more unique and had some pretty significant value just by the nature of them being pretty rare. Those were some pretty good days. Honestly, there are some classic Magic ways that they did old packs, you know, rare foils, rare full art, stuff like that, that really just made them more unique and collectible. And now I feel like they're so common that it really doesn't do great things for them. At the very least, they can make the foil versions of the full arts rare, like harder to pick up. But, you know. Self-Craft Mechan, Night Luminary, Dark Endurance, Caveron Skywarden, Diplomatic Relations, Frontline War Rager, Chrome Companion. I don't think that I've seen many of those, so I'm going to put those together. Broodguard Elites, Memorial Team Leader, Reroute Systems, Virulent Silencer, Frenzied Bailiff. I remember hearing about this one. I mean, the price is crazy low for a 3/2 with Trample Haste. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Creature spells you control can't be countered, and combat damage can't be prevented. I mean, that seems really good. Like, that feels like massive power creep. I would think that would have some value, but with it being a rare, my guess is it probably doesn't. Hiddler Blade, Mountain, Robot. A little disappointed I haven't pulled some of those, you know, top 2 or 3 cards right now. It would have been nice to have pulled some of those. But maybe we'll get there. And I do see young. We're about probably halfway. But we will get there. Ilvoy Lightjammer, Banishing Light, Grafblade Heavy, Gene Pollinator, Nutrient Block, Rig for War, Red Tiger Mechan, Cut Propulsion, Rescue Skiff, Alpha Rail Dreaming Alkalite, Harmonious Grove Strider, the Surima. I definitely heard of that one. I know that that one's got some pretty good playability. I doubt that it's probably very valuable, but we can see. Virus Beetle, Forest, and Lander. I do have Dexter hanging out with us today to join us for this break. He's a pretty chill guy. At this age, he's really not doing very much, which is fine. Honestly, I don't have the time to go and do very much either. So, it's nice just to have a companion that is pretty much as lazy as I am. But I like to think that it's more targeted laziness. I'm doing things that are sitting down, but I'm at least doing something. Mental Modulation, Starfighter Pilot, Hull Carver, Thawbringer, Blooming Stinger, Orbital Plunge, Temporal Intervention, Territorial Bruntar, Sunstar Lightsmith, Tractor Beam, Strip Mine. That should probably get a sleeve. Not foil, but still cool. Classified as a mythic on this one. I was kind of surprised how many of these are actually in this box. Maybe they are more common than I thought. Archenemy Charm, Red Tiger Mechan, Forest, and Lander. Moving on. Of course they picked a Corgi for this. I feel like Corgis are definitely going to pull some cute points more than others. Sucks that it's got no back legs, but you know, still nice. Sinister Cryologist, Exosuit Savior, Beamsaw Prospector, Mechan Shieldmate, Intrepid Tenderfoot, Auraplate Pangolin, Drill Too Deep, Siege Ship Impact, Faller's Faithful, All Fates Stalker, Gigastorm Tyrant, and Secluded Starforge. Ooh, with a Starfield Vocalist in foil in the back. That one I think had at least some value. I could be wrong. It might have changed, but I'm going to sleeve it up just in case. I thought it did at one point. Very pretty foil, full art forest. Again, I do like these. We are nearly done with stack 2 and have not hit any of the highly desired cards. And unfortunately, I have not pulled an Icetill Explorer. And I will say, I do have another box of Edge. And if this one does not land, we may be doing Edge of Eternities again next week. But, who knows? We still got some packs left. Maybe I'll get lucky and pull that Icetill Explorer. That's really the big one that I'm looking for right now. Lost in Space, Squire's Lightblade, Dark Endurance, Starbreach Whale, Wormwall Sweeper, Diplomatic Relations, Caveron Turbodrone, Fungal Colossus, Tanuk Memorial Ensign, Vote Out, Pulsar Squadron Ace, and a Lightstall Inquisitor with a Mechan Shieldmate and a foil Forest. Bright Spear's Zealot, Decode Transmissions, Cryogen Relic, Divert Disaster, Melded Moxite, Sky Stinger, Zealous Display, Station Monitor, Void Forged Titan, Atmospheric Greenhouse, Rayblade Trooper, Dawnsire Sunstar Dreadnoughts. Maybe it's that one that I thought had the greater value. I'm not sure. Debris Field Crusher, and Plains with a Lander. It is at least a mythic, so maybe that one does carry a little bit of value. We'll have to see. Hopefully I at least break even on this box. But it's not looking super promising. We haven't even hit any shocks for a good chunk of time. Not that those ones carry a whole ton of value anymore. You know, we're probably looking at maybe like 17 bucks in value with that, but we still got a long ways to go. Weftblade Enhancer, Insatiable Skittermaw, Cloud Sculpt Tactician, Radiant Strike, Gene Pollinator, Bombard, Lux Knight Breacher, Biosynthetic Burst, Glacial Godmaw, Remnant Elemental, Timeline Color, Might Form Harmonizer with a Eusocial Engineer, and a Full Art Plains and Robot. Okay, this last stack has to pull a lot of weight. And I am not overly optimistic. This is feeling like a bust box. But it'll happen. Let's see how it goes. Swarm Color, Mechanozoa, Auxiliary Boosters, Slag Drill Scraper, Dock Worker Drone, Galactic Wayfarer, Thaumaton Torpedo, Hemosymbic Might, Roving Actuator, Scrounge of for Eternity, Ilvoy Infiltrator, Possibility Technician, and a Memorial Team Leader, Plains Lander. I also feel like I haven't had as many multi-rare packs as I did with Markov. I feel like that one was pretty loaded with them. And this one feels pretty blah. Maybe it's the lack of the extra 6 packs or what, but definitely not feeling as good. Gravepack Monoist, Cryo Shatter, Flight Deck Coordinator, Caveron Skywarden, Embrace Oblivion, Intrepid Tenderfoot, Meltstrider's Gear, Honor, Meltstrider's Eulogist, Molecular Modifier, Hymn of the Faller, Requiem Monolith. I remember that from spoiler season. I thought that sounded pretty cool. I'm guessing that it probably didn't catch on. Pinnacle Killship, Swamp, and Lander. It will be cool to open up some of the collector packs. I think those will probably feel a little bit more rewarding on a regular basis. But these ones, well, these are at least functional. Gravkill, Mental Modulation, Focus Flare, Plasma Bolt, Comet Crawler, Blooming Stinger, Nanoform Sentinel, Scour for Scrap, Honored Knight Captain, Vault Guard Trooper, Eumidian Terrabotanist, And Hylia, Guided by Light. With a Scout for Survivors, Island, and Lander. Not familiar with that one either. Probably means it's not got a lot of value. I am definitely getting to the bottom of this box. Gotta pull something. Come on. Can't let this be a complete bust. Virus Beetle. Ilvoy Operative. Starport Security. Zookeeper Mechan. Rig for War. Drix Fate Maker. Command Bridge. Susurian Dirgecraft. Codebreaker Hound. Okay. Another dog. Maybe that's good luck. Dual Sun Adepts. System Override. The Eternity Elevator with a Banishing Light. A Swamp and a Lander. Not exactly the luck we were probably going to be looking for. Counting correctly, we are down to our last 6. Let's see if we can get lucky. Depressurize, Avoid Galeblade, Night Luminary, Pinnacle Killship, Nebula Dragon, Biosynthetic Burst, Temporal Intervention, Lawship Predator, Susurian Voidborn, Mouth of the Storm, Corral of the Void, and a Nova Hellkite. I do think the Nova Hellkite had at least a little bit of value, but I don't think it was that much. Depressurize, Swamp, Lander. Certainly not enough to save us, let's at least put it that way. We're not fooling ourselves here. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's some pretty good playability of some of these cards, but don't think they carry natural value. Which, as a collector, you know, I'd like to see some of that. As also someone who's looking for specific cards, I'm now starting to regret not just purchasing it. But, what can I say? I'm a gambler. I like cracking packs. As most people who enjoy this game do. They just don't want the cost behind it. At least I got this at a decent price. Pedigree Beckoner. Mechanozoa. Exosuit Savior. Orbital Plunge. Galactic Wayfarer, Nutrient Block, Red Tiger Mechan, Ruinous Rampage, Emergency Effect, Eject, sorry, All Fates Scroll, and a Secret Foundry. Okay, so at least we got another Shockland. Looking at Shockland number 3 here, so that's solid. Take that. Singular Rupture, and a Biomechan Engineer. An island and a robot. We're down to 4. Craftblade Heavy, Ovoy Lightjammer, Starfighter Pilot, Warplate Pangolin, Thawbringer, Shattered Wings, Melts Rider's Gear, Cerebral Download, Interceptor Mechan, Tapestry Warden, Echoing Deeps. I'm not sure if that's going to carry a lot of value, but I'll sleeve it up. I do like the art from these. I do think it looks pretty. Extinguisher Battleship. Cloud Sculpt Tactician. Plains Lander. I think they heard me when I said, you know, I'm looking at not many multi-rare packs. But they are not giving me quality rares. Down to 3. Gotta really cross your fingers now. Our odds are not for us. We are down to 1/10 of the packs left. So comment back. You know, this is video number 2. What can I do differently? What can I do better? Does the transparency camera that I've got up there, you know, give you some level of peace of mind as to how I'm doing things to show that, you know, these are truly the packs from the box? Or is this, you know, something you're not feeling, and why? You know, what can I do different? Decode transmissions, Selfcraft Mechan, Banishing Light, Frontline War Rager, Mechan Shieldmate, Germinating Worm, Kov Landseeker, Kavarun Harrier, Umbral Caller Zealot, which I thought that was going to be one of the few uncommons that were going to carry value, but maybe it didn't in the end. Mechan Assembler, Sun Star Expansionist. Consult the star chart. That's at least got some value. I don't think it's got a huge amount. $5 from what I can see up there. But hey, at this point, I need every dollar. Because otherwise this box is going to be a bust. Beamsaw, Prospector, Mountains, Lander. Let's finish on a high note. On the other hand, if there are things that you really, really like about what I'm doing that, you know, really speak to you in regards to that level of transparency that I'm also trying to achieve for your guys' sake, tell me. You know, I do want to know your impressions, because I do think that what I'm doing here is a little bit different. And I'm hopeful that people appreciate it, rather than it just going something no one really cares about. Beamsaw Prospector, Star Breach Whale, Radiant Strike, Hulk Carver, Wormwall Sweeper, Galactic Wayfarer, Melted Moxite, Survey Mechan, Reroute Systems, Broodguard Elite, Weft Stalker Ardent, Hylia Guarded by Light, or Guided by Light, Gene Pollinator, Island Lander. We're down to 1. Bummer. Really would have liked to have seen that Icetill Explorer, but maybe I can trade some of these shock lands in for one. Didn't need all of them. I think the Watery Grave I was looking for, but could have used a couple other cards. That's okay. Let's see how it goes. Drum roll, please. Lost in Space. Bright Spear Zealot. Perigi Beckoner. Sammy's Curiosity. Divert Disaster. Kavarun Skywarden. Drill Too Deep. Wedgelight Rammer. Annual. I don't feel like I've seen that one at all. Fell Graveship. Full Bore. And Cosmic Grand Zenith. That has something. Oh man. That fooled me. I thought I was about to hit it. Oh, what a tease. What a tease. Okay. Well, the Cosmic Grand Zenith is a reasonable consolation prize, I suppose. Not exactly what I was looking for, but not nothing. Okay, guys, I'm going to do some tabulations, and I will get back to you as to how we did. I am not holding my breath. $123. That's what we got out of a full box of EOE. Not a great showing. Definitely, I think that this was a poorly representative box for this set. I do think that this set has a lot more to show for it. I think we just got really unlucky. With that in mind, I just wanted to highlight some of the hits. We'll go over those and see where things go from there. I will be opening another box of this. This is definitely not going to be the last box, because this can't be my one and only experience with Edge of Eternities, that's for sure. To highlight the value cards from this set, you know, we did end up pulling one special guest, probably a bit underrepresented in terms of this box, given that my last box we ended up getting 3, but hey, I'll take one. We got the Robe of Stars, sitting at around $11.79. It's got some decent value, so I'll take what I can get. Definitely could have been better. The Hylia and the Triumphant Treatment sits around $4. There was a second Hylia, but it was a substantial amount less. The Might Form Harmonizer does sit around another $4. The Cosmic Grand Zenith, I'm surprised to see that that one's dropped as much as it has. That one's sitting closer to around the $5 mark. Consult the Star Chart, another $5. Dawnsire, $5. We did hit 3 Shocklands, which is not bad. We did end up with about $11.50 on the Watery Grave, $11 on the Sacred Foundry, and another $7.80 on the Stomping Ground. So I'll take what I can get. This box was saved by this Strip Mine. The Strip Mine I definitely did not recognize as such a significant pull when we pulled it, but that one's sitting at around $21.29, which is solid. I'll take that any day of the week. We did get some bonus from quite a few $1 cards, even those Celestial full art lands sitting at around $1 a piece. I think we pulled around 6 of those, including 1 in foil, so that's not too bad. All in all, we did end up with about 33 cards that were above $1. Really not a lot given how much we opened. I think that this just highlights the damage that happens from having only 30 packs compared to 36. I mean, it's a substantial drop in terms of your opportunities. We did end up with another $56 in value from cards under $1. I wouldn't take a lot of credence in that. You know, that's not going to really contribute a lot to your value, but hey, who knows, maybe over time there might be some hidden gems in there at some point. Total value for the box sitting around $179. Again, take that with a grain of salt. This box probably truly is valued closer to around the 120 mark, and I don't think that you know, that's you know, a great showing for this box. I do think EOE has a lot more to show for it. With that in mind, I do appreciate you guys joining me. Hopefully we will end up a little bit luckier next time. I am still looking for the Icetill Explorer, so I will be opening another box at some point. But with that in mind, you know, I really appreciate you guys joining us. We did end up with 2 bonuses. We did end up with a couple companion animals, which is great. There was also a cat, but it was like a robot cat. I'm not going to count that one. I will count cats, don't get me wrong. I just don't want it to be a robot cat. That's weird. And as I like to say, treat yourself well, treat others well, treat your animals well. Look into adopting. It's a great thing. It helps you really feel really rewarded. You know, I'm lucky to have Dexter with me still, joining me for this break. And I truly hope that at least this box opening was one of the worst ones, and that you guys will have better luck with your own boxes. I cracked these packs so you don't have to. So thanks again for joining MTG Bark Breaks. Be sure to like and subscribe for the next video, and we will see you next time.